I knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Welcome to beautiful San Luis Obispo for another episode of the Rain Spooner podcast. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Not the Rain. Is it Ren Spooner? Ren Spooner. It looks like rain to me. Ren Spooner. I apologize, Ren Spooner. This is a San Luis Obispo real estate podcast with the man in a Ren Spooner podcast, Mr. Hal Swayze. How you doing, sir?
Oh, me instead of John first?
No, I mean you're first, but you're in one, so it starts your day.
Never coming off.
You're at day number one.
I have to say, it looks good on you.
It looks great.
You're at day number one. JT, the Ren Spooner man himself. How are you?
I'm awesome. Are you kidding me?
You are.
You guys
looking great.
I'm excited for our guests
Your
today.
style is rubbing off on everybody. And all the way from Southern California, Mr. Albert Megerts. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. It's great to be back.
Thank you for being
and
here.
I'm glad this little surprise has worked out. Last minute, I think it's kind of fun.
You got,
Right?
you
It
got
was
a cool
awesome.
Shirt on.
Oh my gosh, the Willie Nelson one?
You have to
that's pretty
explain the
cool.
surprise. Explain the surprise.
But, well, we were just talking about it so much because JT's, worn this shirt for 10
plus years.
10
in
plus
a row,
years
every
every day. So I thought it would be hilarious if I just kind of walked in wearing one
I
for the
think it's
recording.
great.
Of course, fat guy problems. I never know which size is going to fit. So I bought
XXL,
3.
baby.
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And so I figured why not let everybody else,
One
join
size
the
fits
fun.
all here.
I
Yeah.
think I got the
Totally.
smallest
James,
one. Mine's a
you
little
got one on?
snug.
Yeah.
I got the Vegas one. I'm headed to Vegas tonight.
The funny
so.
thing about the Vegas one,
Yeah.
I love this. It was called Our Ninth Island. And this is I promise you this is true. I didn't believe it the first time I heard this, but Native Hawaiians consider Las Vegas to be their ninth island.
No
What?
kidding.
Yeah, and it's I heard one of them say it once, and then it was only after it was like independently confirmed by 5 of them that they that is a go-to joke that their ninth island is the city of Las Vegas.
then
And so
you gotta
that's
dress
why that
appropriately.
Hawaiian shirt that's all about Vegas is called Our Ninth Island.
I'm gonna
gotta
sweat in
dress
this plenty. So
appropriately.
thank you so much. That's awesome. Hal, we have some amazing guests with us. Let's get started. Who do we have?
Yeah, I'm still recovering from all this fashion information I'm aware of. So Kim Rugg from Fidelity Home Warranty and Cassidy Home Rugg family team.
Yep.
Kim, I've known for years. In fact, tell our audience a little bit about how long you've been doing this, what's going on, and give a little detail for the family for us.
I'm ancient. I've been here for many, many years. So I've been with Fidelity National Home Warranty for 23 years as of March 1st.
Nice.
And then I brought Cassidy on as my partner June 1st, almost 3 years ago. So I've been doing it a long time, selling warranties for 25 with a competitor a couple years prior to me joining Fidelity. But yeah, I've been on the Central Coast I grew up here, obviously, but with Fidelity for 23 years.
Awesome.
Long time.
And you have some changes in the works, it sounds like.
We do.
Is it too early to ask?
No,
Or-
no, no.
Okay.
We could talk about it.
Yeah.
So as of April 1st, I'm actually going to be moving on up, just like the Jeffersons,
That's right.
moving on up.
Yes.
I know, right?
Makes you wheezy.
I know.
Wow.
Easy.
You can
I
name
think
the
that's
character.
the first
Wait,
singing
that's
we've had on this
awesome.
podcast.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
I don't know if she even knows who the Jeffersons are. Do you? Okay. Just want to make sure. Or
always good to
different
check.
age group there. So I'll be moving up to, we're still deciding the title, sales manager, VP of sales, Southern California. And again, she's been my partner for almost 3 years, but now she's going to be inheriting the entire territory. But what's great about that is I'm not going anywhere. And this
Yeah.
is what I've always told my people. I'm not going anywhere. And this is solidifying it because I'm just going up.
Yeah.
I'm overseeing. So if there's any issues, she still has me.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great.
So
I'm
you're both
excited.
moving up. You're
both moving up.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
moving up.
I think that's a round of applause for both of you. Great job, Team Swayze. Congratulations from all of us.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Likewise. Well, from a professional perspective, if I could just say that, in my office, Dakota does a lot of the escrows, and we get home warranties at different time frames. But I was just saying, Dakota, what's so great about Kim and Fidelity and Cassidy? And he goes, well, first of all, like in escrow, when you can get things done quickly, it's great. So he orders a home warranty, gets confirmation almost immediately, right? And then where the rubber meets the road is the service part, right? Because you get insurance, and sometimes you need a claim file or something. And no disrespect to people that have been in the industry, but not always the fastest. And you are just on it every time. Okay, so
Thank you.
I got to say that's huge. I mean, they get in real
Yeah.
estate, get that kind of service that quickly. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Well,
for
it
taking
really
care of our
is.
clients.
No, you're welcome. Thank
Yeah.
you for saying that, though, because what people don't realize is we're not just order takers. We don't just, oh, what do you got for me? we have to service the property. So we're here long after the close of escrow
Yep.
for at least a year with the home warranty, and a home warranty is renewable year after year.
Yep.
So, and it's always nice that they have somebody local they can reach out to. Nothing's worse than calling an 800 number every single time, not knowing who you're talking to. You know, and we live within our territory. Literally, we live a mile from each other. So we're, you know, located in our territory. So it's nice. And so thank you for saying that. It is about service for us. It's more customer service. We're fast,
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, that is not the model you see a lot of times, because so much customer service goes to an outside source, or, you know, a number there's no connection. So I think real estate, you know, as much as goes on online, is still very personal. So the fact that you are there and following up is really a big deal, because you don't see it that often. So just, again,
Absolutely.
it's great.
Thank
So
you.
we have
now
a bunch
there's
of questions
two of
for
us.
you.
Now there's
What
two
about
of
you,
us.
Cassidy?
Yeah, so I've been with her almost 3 years now. It's funny, for years she's always like, how can we get you to work with me? And I'm like, I am not doing what you're doing. Like, I'm doing my own thing. You know, I was in event management for a while at Trilogy Monarch Dunes in Napomo. My degree is in recreation management and hospitality. So I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And then I had kids, and you get that crazy holiday schedule working in hospitality. It was like nights, weekends, holidays. I'm like, I can't do this. I have 3 kids, so all under 5. And for me, this was huge. I grew up with her doing this. I always thought she was a stay-at-home mom. I never had any idea that she had a job. No. Because it was so flexible. She was the
Classroom
field trip
mom. Yeah.
Yes, like we got that support with her at home, but also she crushed it in work. So it was awesome. And then as I got older, I bought my own house. Like, I learned so much from her. So I came to her one day and I said, my kids are always sick. I'm always having to, you know, let somebody down because I'm calling out, and that's just not me. So she goes, let me make one call. And she did, and here we are.
And I want to say it was actually 3 years ago, like
Yes,
now, in
exactly.
March, that you came
Yeah.
to me. So we literally had her hired on, onboarded, trained, training, June 1st. So yeah, it's been
And
almost
I'm
3
learning
years.
from the best. I've learned everything. Any response she gives somebody is basically what I'm going to say. So it's been awesome learning from her.
Yeah.
Nepotism, it's great.
Stop it. No, I kid you not. So what I've been training people to do is also CC her on emails. So when everything comes in, I kid you not, it's kind of a fight to see who gets the quickest reply.
I love
and
it. We
I will
mess
go to
around.
hit
That's
send, and hers will come through, and it is almost verbatim what I was going to send my email in. Like, the training part of it, she is basically an extension of me, and that's what I tell people. Look, I'm still here because you've got her. She's my mini-me.
Also rare, though,
perfect.
mentorship programs, right? I mean, it's like, here's your new job, good luck, and tell us if you need help. And
Yeah.
you just, so that's a great way to get someone prepared, and it shows.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Okay.
About the product. But before I ask the question, I just want to let you know, you made reference to the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
My late brother worked on the Jeffersons.
No
and was
way.
best friends with, I forget, what was his name, the actor's name?
George, oh.
What was George's name in real life? I forget. Anyway, they were
forgot
great
too.
friends.
Now we're
So
gonna think about
just
that.
kind of FYI.
Okay, isn't that ironic?
I
Like,
always
that-
believe in signs. We always do this. It's
I
so
know.
weird.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Because
he
as a
didn't show up in
sign.
the same clothes today.
I know.
Sherman Hemsley. Sherman Hemsley.
Sherman Hemsley.
Sherman
Hemsley.
Hemsley.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I can remember walking across the set and Sherman going to my brother going, "Hey KT, what's going on?"
Yeah.
My phone's going off because usually we have a meeting right now at this time of the day on a Thursday.
You owe $100.
I do. I spent almost 40 years in the insurance industry, and so what is the difference between the product that you guys sell and the homeowner's insurance product that an insurance agent
Do you want to
delivers?
take it, Cass?
Yeah, I'll take it. We
All
get
right.
this question a lot.
All the time.
All the time, yeah. And I always say the 2 E's are important with our role, because education and expectation, I think, is a huge one for homeowners. So the home warranty is going to cover appliances and systems located within the 4 walls of the home due to normal wear and tear. And we emphasize normal wear and tear because we get calls that's like, my toddler shoved a toy down the toilet and now it's not working. That's not considered normal wear and tear if your toddler is putting toys in the toilet. So we just normal wear and tear, just due to you living there, utilizing the appliances and systems. And then the difference between homeowners insurance and what we do is homeowners insurance is more geared towards natural disasters, like fires, floods, earthquake, if you have that coverage. And that's going to basically, if you had secondary damages due to a flood, that would be your homeowner's insurance. We get people that call and say, hey, my dishwasher flooded, my floor is now warped, can you cover this? And unfortunately, no, because we don't cover secondary damages. So anything having to do with that, flooding, earthquake, fire, anything like that would be homeowner's insurance. And then if it were your dishwasher, that's something where we can come in and be like, well, we can help with the dishwasher. Your homeowner's insurance would pick up for the secondary damages.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, I trained you well.
Yes.
Nailed it.
I understood. That's really good.
So you give her a 10 on her response?
I give her a 10.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We need little 10, little.
Yes. You can start
Hold
sooner
up a
than
little
April
card.
1st now.
Yeah.
I know, right? Oh, my goodness.
I love it.
Hey, so here's what because a lot of people don't know, me included sometimes,
Yeah.
What do you say for potential buyers or sellers, anybody who uses a home warranty? What's the biggest misconception they have?
That we cover everything.
There you go.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
No, and that, honest to God, we heard you cover everything. And that's what we're trying to educate to a lot of our agents and everybody, because we do hear agents say, just get a home warranty. They'll cover everything. And then it makes us look bad, like we're
Right.
not doing our job when something isn't covered. And then the homeowner's like, well, my agent said you cover everything. No, that's not true.
What do you think is the most common misconception about a specific item that is covered? Like, is there one that comes up on a regular basis that the client thinks air conditioning is covered, but it's not? But I think air conditioning is covered.
Well, it
right?
is when they
Yeah.
pay for the premium on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
The biggest thing that I get calls on are irrigation systems.
Yep.
Like
Oh, interesting.
outside and it's leaking and, let me call the home warranty. No, we
Right.
don't cover anything outside the four walls of the home unless you've got pool spa coverage. You pay those extra premiums to have them. But irrigation systems are not covered at all. I get those calls all the time.
I would say that fences, we've gotten questions about fences being covered, and also structural, your doors or windows, which would not be covered in the home warranty.
Yeah. Not what they call a working system.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if your 16-year-old with their new license drives over your irrigation system and runs into your fence, you guys don't cover that.
I love it. I love it. Yep.
Now you've got a homeowner's
That
claim
happened
and
to
an
me
auto
once.
claim.
Yeah,
There
that's
you,
a homeowner's.
exactly. See, you
And
know.
we did get that covered. Yeah. Okay, good.
Deductibles
it
on
was on the
both.
property. That's all that mattered. Yeah.
I know, but kind of to add to your point too, we just want, again, back to the 2 E's, education and expectation. That's why we do, we sit down with realtors and we have these conversations, because we just want them to look the best as well. We want you at the end of the day to look like the superhero. So for us, if you set that expectation for your client and we can come through and make you look like a superhero, that's all we want at the end of the day. So just making sure that they're aware. And we always tell people, give them our information. We'd be more than happy to explain it to them.
Yep.
Because I think it's important. I mean, I've purchased now 3 houses, which is amazing. But my first house, I didn't even know, which is crazy because she's in this role. I didn't even know I had a home warranty on the house. I remember texting
I think
her.
that's super common.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I
Extremely
remember.
common,
Very
yeah.
common.
And you don't. Your
Because
first
it's built
time
into the
homebuyer.
transaction, and then you don't actually
Yes.
fully understand what's going on. You
No.
don't even know that there's a warranty.
And it's
Yeah.
bad because she's my mom, right? So, so I texted her. I'm like, hey, my garbage disposal is not working. She goes, you have a home warranty. I'm like, what is that? And how do you do it? So it kind of just spiraled. This was 6 years ago. So it kind of just spiraled into, now I know everything. So now I know. But being a first time home buyer.
It'd be great if there was something like title search on a home, but for home warranties, so that you could
Yes.
look it up and say, this address, is there an active warranty or
Yeah.
not?
I would think that the most common interaction you have, your product and the public, would be when a home closes escrow and the new owner has that coverage built into the contract, like you guys were talking. But I also understand that there is coverage available for someone who's now listing their house and selling it, and they just want to have something in place in case something goes wrong in the meantime. So can you kind of go through those 2 scenarios and the differences between the 2 products?
Yeah.
So I'll talk about seller's coverage. I call this the hidden gem because not a lot of people know about it. And it does help when you go in for listings. Now, you're already well known, Hal. So, I mean, listings for you are pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but people know you for that. But there's some people who are going to go up against 3 or 4 other agents. And I always say seller's coverage is a great listing tool because not everybody knows about it. And what seller's coverage is it's your basic home warranty. So you can't put pool, spa, refrigerator, or any buyer's options on it. The only thing you can have is your basic product. You can put the upgrade, which used to be in the the RPA, but it's no longer there, and air conditioning.
RPA is the contract we write.
The
for our
contract,
house.
sorry. I guess I should have reiterated that. So those are the only things that you can have on a seller's coverage policy. So nothing outside of that is covered. It's a per day premium. So, and it's not payable until it closes escrow. So the great thing about it, now we all sell it completely different, my competitors, or I should say our competitors, but I like everybody to know the expectations of a seller's, home warranty or listing coverage is what they call it. It's not to put on to get a home inspection and be like, oh, you've got all these list of repairs. That's not what it's for. It's just like a buyer's coverage where things break due to normal wear and tear, and it's to help the seller not have to come up with that, that out-of-pocket money. So, a water heater that's leaking, we were talking about that earlier. That's the biggest reason I tell people to do seller's coverage is because a water heater will go out, and now it's starting at $1,500. It can move all the way up to $3,000 or $4,000 for a water heater. So I think it's a great listing tool, and I call it the hidden gem. And I probably shouldn't say this because it's kind of a secret, but with our company, if you don't sell the property, and let's say, because seller's coverage is only good for 6 months. If you don't sell the property or the seller decides I'm going to pull it off the market, even if we've performed service on the property, we don't charge you. I hate saying that because that's why I call it the hidden gem. Now, other companies will try and, go after the money and stuff like that. But, for us, it's a foot in the door for us to get the buyer side. And that's why we like seller's coverage.
Sure.
But that's why I call it the hidden gem, because it's a win-win. It's like you've got seller's coverage. You look like a hero to your seller if something were to go wrong. And it's different. Sometimes the agent will pay for seller's coverage, and sometimes it's the seller. Now, for me, I think it's a great thing for the agent to pay for because it's fairly inexpensive. It's like roughly $1.38 a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, if you think about it, something goes wrong, it pays for itself, literally. So that's the seller's coverage part of it.
And you bring up water heaters. Did you bring up water heaters for a reason?
Well, okay, we like
Yeah.
to say it always happens this way, but we like to say that your appliances start crying or your systems start crying when the homeowner is moving out, which water heater is number one. It starts leaking, it starts crying, it shuts down. It's like the homeowner's moving out, they're bummed, right?
Murphy's Law. huh?
Exactly.
Right.
Always.
Exactly. So we bring up the water heater because that's a big one. Like right off the gate that we get calls like, hey, I'm not having any hot water or just something goes wrong. And we say that. So that's kind of a good thing for seller's coverage because the water heaters, I would say, and the furnaces are like the number one things to go out.
And there's limitations. So especially on the heater, like if it ends up being a cracked heat exchanger and the, technician goes out there, we have a max coverage of $500. And the reason being is because of what I just told you is if you don't sell the property or it falls off the market, we don't
You're not
charge
charging.
you. We have to put those limitations on it. Otherwise, we'd be paying out tens of thousands of dollars on a contract we're never going to get paid on. So it is a great listing tool.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just to stand out from your competitors, for sure.
It's interesting too, because I think when people are selling their house, like especially during escrow, if something breaks, they already think mentally like it's not my house anymore.
Yes.
So to
Yeah.
write a check for a water heater or something that goes wrong with a house, new dishwasher, so the coverage is great. And likewise, once the house closes, the buyer owns it, but they think, well, it's mine now, but yesterday it was theirs. They should fix it, right? So it just kind of takes that stress out. Where
It
it's like,
does.
okay, I can fall back on this. That's why I just think home warranties are so great, right? It's just, it gives people that feeling like, okay, we're in this gray area. Who's really responsible? Well, it's pretty clear cut, but just people have different feelings about it, right? So
Definitely.
it just makes
yeah.
it easier and more palatable, and it solves a lot of problems, right?
Yeah.
This question may be for everybody, but what percentage of homes that close in our county have the coverage?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say about 10% do not put the home warranty on. Like they'll waive it. I mean, and again, too, if you're selling a lot of land, you don't need the home warranty
Sure.
for that. But I would say about 10% don't. Other than that,
So 90% do.
yeah, 90% do. And I would say, too, it kind of helps with, like liability for the agent themselves. It takes the liability off of
Big
them.
time.
Yeah. So we always say if you're going to waive the home warranty, always make sure that your client is signing something in writing that they're waiving it. Because we've had it before where the client comes back and they're like, I never said I didn't want the home warranty. Now I have all this. And we're like, ugh.
And actually, in the back of our brochures, there
Yeah.
is a waiver of
Right.
the buyer waiving
Yeah.
it. So I would just it's all about documentation, you guys. That's especially in the state of
Right.
California.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
But
So
I would
it's
say
important.
definitely if you're gonna or your client wants to waive it, or even just putting the standard basic coverage on there, just to kind of help you take the liability off yourself. So, and that's kind of what we're here for. We don't want you to have to be the middleman in between everything. We want to be there to help you. So.
And I think part of the percentage too, we should probably talk about is home warranties are only for residential purposes,
Right.
so not commercial.
Right.
So, for instance, if you have a mini storage and you're selling the whole property, but there's an apartment for the manager, we'll cover the apartment,
Okay.
but we won't cover the mini storage itself. So it gets a little bit tricky.
Is there a difference between your primary residence and a rent, piece of income property or a second home?
Great question. Nope, we cover them all.
Okay.
We cover them all. Now, I will say with that, when we say we cover them all, here's what we've been running into lately. So if you take a residential home and you turn it into something commercial, like a doctor's office,
Daycare.
a
Right.
daycare center, a sorority or fraternity. I mean, we live in college town. It literally voids it because it's not normal wear and tear. When you've got 15 people living in the house, that's not normal wear and tear on
But
a
if I
normal
buy a
house.
house by Cal Poly and rent it to 5 college students,
Yes.
We're
yes.
good, right?
We do a ton of those.
Okay.
So that's good.
any
It's just-
difference in premium between a primary and a rental?
No, but how many houses, if you have, is it 4 houses under one contract? So like if you have 3 rentals in your primary, it's discounted, right? It
Actually,
starts getting
5.
discounted.
So if you have with our
Yeah.
company, if you are an investment person and you have 5 or more properties with Fidelity, not a lot, but you do get a little bit of a discount on each one when you go to renew it.
And can you give us some idea of pricing of a home warranty?
Yeah.
I heard the $100 or the $1.30 a day for
sellers.
For
For sellers.
sellers.
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you got a house on the market and it takes 30 days to get it in escrow and 30 days to close it, you got $100.
Very inexpensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's in the closing statement, $100 with all the other stuff that's in there, nobody's going to notice it one way or another.
Right. So I think with anything that you buy or purchase, the more you add onto it, the more expensive it gets. So
Okay.
I can kind of tell you roundabout, I would say $650, $700 is the average for like a nice complete package that gives you like washer, dryer, refrigerator, air conditioning. But it can get fairly expensive too when you start adding on all those extra
pool
added
and-
options. Yeah. And it also depends on the square footage. So anything
Okay.
under 5,000 square feet, you're going to have brochure pricing. And the other thing we're trying to educate agents on too is get a hold of us when you need a quote, because anything over 5,000 square feet or a guest house or anything like that, it's different pricing.
Okay.
So it can get fairly expensive. Although I would say probably, I mean, I see in contracts in Santa Barbara, large homes and they're putting 2,500 in. That's a great size amount, and that would include a guest house, a home over 5,000 square feet, and we can get them wonderful coverage, and it might not even hit 2,500. So yeah, it just really depends on the coverage wanted, needed.
It also depends on the type of property, because we do condos, we also do mobile homes, we do townhomes, all of that, and it's also going to be a little bit, I would say, more discounted for smaller units like that. So it could go anywhere from, depending on the coverage, 400 up to 2,500. So yeah, our territory is Paso to Santa Barbara. You can imagine in Santa Barbara these houses that are.
We always say put more in than less,
Yeah.
because who's usually going to pay up that extra dollars if it goes over? Usually the agent is. So we don't want you spending more money than you have to.
And pricing over time has the world impacted you guys like it's impacted the homeowners insurance business, where pricing is substantially higher than it was a few years ago?
I wouldn't say substantially higher, but we have had price increases probably in the last year or two, probably 3, and there's another one coming.
Got it.
We all follow suit. So all of the home warranty companies, once one starts raising their prices,
Yeah.
the others follow suit. So we're actually the last one to come in. So in a couple of months, we're actually going to have, and it's not a huge, it's like $40. It's not like with, homeowners insurance
It's
where
nothing
it's like
compared. Your prices are nothing compared to the change. we've
homeowners
seen in
insurance
homeowners.
is
Yeah.
getting bad. But I will say 25 years ago from when I used to sell home warranties to now, it is a tough insurance product now. I mean, the guidelines, the limitations, because we are regulated by the Department of Insurance, and not a lot of people realize that.
I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're regulated. So we have certain guidelines and things that we cover for, what we won't cover for. And homeowners get really discouraged because they're like, well, you're not worth anything. Why do I do this? And it's like, no, we are, but you have to know how it works. Right. There's certain things we will and will not cover for.
Education and what was the second? Expectations. There you go.
I like
right
it.
there.
E.
Yeah.
So can anybody buy like somebody built the house 10 years ago and now after 10 years, they're afraid things might start to happen. Can they just walk in off the street and buy a product from you guys, or do they have to go through a real estate agent?
No, absolutely. Yeah. And the best part about it is if they know us, we can get them a
deal.
discount.
A deal, huh?
And that's why it's so important, to know your local rep who lives there, because we can help out in that sense. We call them direct to consumer. So you can buy it. A lot of people ask, is there limitations on how old your house is that you can put it on? And no, there's no. You could have a house from 1900s and we would cover it. So
the Kim and Cassidy special.
Yeah.
If we have a podcast listener, will they get even better deal? They say, "Hey, we saw you on the podcast." Yeah.
I know if we can get them a better deal, because literally coming in off the street, if they're referred to us or they mention our names when they're calling in to get a home warranty, it's like they're automatically
off.
it's like $150.
Yeah, it's pretty discounted.
So it's pretty discounted. There are a couple of limitations that apply. Once they pay for it, there's a 30-day wait time for service, where obviously if it's a real estate transaction, it starts the day it closes escrow.
Right.
And their service fee is a little bit higher, for, like a service tray call fee. So those just a little bit of difference.
Which
but
is for the public is like a deductible, right?
correct.
Yep.
We like
I love that you said
Go
that
ahead.
because that is how I explain it to everybody. They're always like, well, the technician came out and they looked at everything, but there was nothing wrong. So do I still have to pay that service fee? Yes. And the way I explain it is you go to the doctor's office and you have a copay, right? You go in and the doctor's like, you just got a virus. You don't need any antibiotics. You got to go home and rest. And you walk out.
You're going to be okay.
You're going to be okay.
Which is good news, right?
Yeah. But you still have to pay that copay.
You don't get your copay back.
Exactly. So, and that's how we explain it to everybody too. And that's just how, we have to take into account we're sending that technician out and their time to go look to see if something is going on. So
it's almost like a diagnosis fee,
Yeah.
like being diagnosed by a doctor.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're just about to wrap it up here. So those prices just for the public, you were quoting for a 1-year policy.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
And then how frequent is renewal, and how do people take advantage of that? Because I think if you don't know you have a policy and it expires, unless somebody talks to them or they get something, they may not renew, right?
Yeah.
They get so much.
You're right.
Yeah, so many times, and everyone's always like, "Oh my gosh, what's coming?" You know what I mean? Because you get that in the mail, and you're like, "Is this spam?"
Calls, emails, they get it all.
Yeah, but so each policy is a 1-year policy, so 12 months. So they usually about 3 to 4 weeks prior to it coming up for renewal will get calls, emails. Anything that's on file just to remind them.
Yep.
We'll mail things to them, and then I believe they have a little bit after that renewal date.
Grace period.
To still, exactly, grace period, where that lapse of coverage, they can still come in and get that pricing that they were locked into.
And that's important too, because that's the only time you can change your coverage. So once you're set in stone for the year, the only time that you can change your coverage with the home warranty is at the renewal period.
Okay.
Got it.
So that's really important to know.
Unless it's a real estate transaction, then your clients have 30 days, up to 30 days after close of escrow to add stuff on. That's kind of the nice thing about being in a real estate transaction is they do have a little bit of time after to be like, wait a minute, I should probably add this on, and they can add
That's
things.
surprising. That's an option because once they've lived there, they have a lot more perspective on what's going to potentially need service.
Well, that's why we
in the
put
future.
30 days
Exactly.
in place.
Yeah.
Because if you did 6 months, they be coming up with all
my gosh,
kinds
yes.
of stuff to
Yeah.
call in for.
You're like, my fountain's not working now.
Right.
So we're getting close to running out
Yep.
of time. How do people get in touch with you guys?
Oh, we're phone number. We've got cell
Oh my gosh, we're
phones,
everywhere.
emails,
Instagram,
we're
you
all
can
over
look
the
us
place.
up.
Let's give that actual phone number.
Give it
and
out.
then-
Yeah,
go ahead.
And if you're okay with it, tell everybody how.
My cell phone number is, of course, area code 805-294-2656.
And mine is 805-354-9229.
Yep. And we can post it.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
for those that are
Emails,
watching.
websites,
Yeah,
Instagrams. You want to say how do they email
Yeah, so
you?
Instagram right now, it's at CC Fidelity Girls with an S.
Girls with an S,
But
but
now I'm like, I'm going to have
that's
to
gonna be
change it
singular.
to
Yeah.
CC Fidelity Girls.
Girls.
I know.
I'm going to have to come up with all these new taglines.
Do you have any?
Like,
You have daughters?
I do. I
Well,
have
there you go.
one.
There you go.
So you got a new team.
Everyone's like, oh my gosh, you should just bring your daughter on when she's old enough. She's 16
Nepotism
months
on
now,
steroids
so I'll just
right
keep
here.
It's a little
putting
ways
it out
out.
there for her. Yeah, and then our emails, it's gonna. I mean, we'd have to spell it out. My
I
last
know
name
it's
is
our
so
names.
long.
I don't know if you want that whole thing, but
I know. Hers
We
is,
can add it to the description and put it on there so people
Okay.
can get a hold of you.
Yeah.
And then website, did we get that? Is
so
that?
website is just homewarranty.com.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's not hard to.
That's
I know
good.
easy
Yeah,
enough,
that's
right?
easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Homewarranty.com.
Home warranty.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
like housewayzy.com. So perfect.
Not that easy. That's
Not
not as easy. Okay. Well, thank you so much for spending time here. It's been very valuable, I think. So
Yeah.
Thanks
hopefully
for
get to have you
having
guys
us.
back again
This
soon.
was fun.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having us.
Thank you so
so
much.
much.
Rain
It's
Spooner
great.
Group.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice shirts, guys.
Likewise, great to meet you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
we
We didn't get the memo, but
I know we
like
got
it.
left out of that secret.
Next time, blame Albert. Next time. Thank you, everybody that
Thank you
listened
so
to us.
much.
Hopefully, this was great information for everybody. But don't be afraid to contact us as well if you need anything. And then the CC Fidelity Girls, soon to be girl. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, everything that social media. And then, Mr. Kingman, what do you got?
Like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. It goes out on every major podcast.
Like, subscribe,
And it's-
share.
And if you're listening, if you're watching it on YouTube, you're like, man, I'd really like to listen to this on the way into work. That's where you do that.
Yeah,
at, okay?
you can listen to it different. So I'm looking at our YouTube analytics. Hal wanted me to share this. So just in 2025, we have 715,000 views. We're coming up to 1 million views. This year we've increased to 13. We're at 13,000 subscribers. I'm sorry, 14,443 subscribers. And in just the past 48 hours, we've had 25,000 views to our YouTube channel.
Great.
So it's getting there. We're 1 million a day or nothing. That's what we're shooting for.
Everybody should be getting home warranties now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Albert signing autographs.
Yeah, Albert is signing autographs anywhere you see him. And he'll buy you a Rain Spooner shirt. Yeah.
You're famous.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We appreciate you. We'll talk to everybody next week. We'll see you.
I don't have 15,000 subscribers, so I debate that.
Well, you're the reason.